Uh, Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Bahrain Initiative for Development, for having me here today. Since the topic is actually about the Taliban and regional instability, and I have written extensively on this issue from last few years, particularly following Taliban's network with the regional militant groups, and also what it means for internal security of Afghanistan, and also for the regional stability, which has been the mantra of the region and international community from last 4 years. So I would like to highlight on three main points at this beginning remarks of mine. It would be general, of course, but then I see that as a setting ground for my follow-up kind of analysis of the situation. First of all, I think the core of the challenge for the region and for Afghanistan is the Taliban itself. I see Taliban as an existential threat to the future of Afghanistan and to the regional stability. And why I'm saying that, because of the identity of the Taliban and characteristics of the Taliban. Taliban, as they originally emerged as a militant group in 1990s, with a long-standing links to the transnational militant group, particularly al-Qaeda, that we have seen over the years. They have strong networks with the militant groups of Central Asia, based in Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. They have very strong and interconnected relationship with Tehrik-e-Taliban in Pakistan, TTP, that we have seen from last a few years since the Taliban take over, the surge in TTP attacks in Pakistan, which is clearly show that from where they got this inspiration. And also going beyond, they have connection with the fundamentalist groups in Bangladesh. That initially, when they took power, there were some statements coming from that, and so going and talk about different other groups. There are ideological connection. There is a financial sort of transaction between them and other militant groups, and of course the expansionist approach that I always see associated with the militant groups agenda. So the first for me, particularly following last 4 years and the fact that they haven't been able to cut ties with this transnational militant groups in the region, is the identity of the Taliban, the characteristics that make them a threat. Their presence is a threat for me that I would see. And they are, by the way, they are not coming from reports of the media only. There has been research on that, particularly the UN report recently in the past provide a lots of this evidence. So there is, since the Taliban takeover, there has been a concern about this connectivity of them with other militant groups. And we have seen the instability in Afghanistan, also the region. So just to provide more context to that, soon after the Taliban takeover in 2022, we have seen cross-border clashes between Uzbekistan and Afghanistan and Iran based on water. So the main issue was the water crisis that particular time. We have also seen the trade and transit issue, and then which caused actually armed clashes between Tajikistan and Afghanistan in 2022 and early 2023. Going forward, we also witnessed the presence of Jamaat Ansarullah in Badakhshan province, which were recruited by the Taliban in different posts and places of the northern part of Afghanistan. So what all this say to us, demonstrate the fact that these groups are present in Afghanistan, provided sanctuary, provided weaponry support, enabling situation for recruitment. That by itself says that Taliban have these groups in shelter at this point. The second main trait that I would see, and that we have seen that emerged so much and reorganized under the Taliban since last 4 years, is the resurgence of ISKP. Well, ISKP, some believe, according to data, that they are enemies of the Talib. That's all another story and another area that we need to explore, and we have to find more data on that. But in a nutshell, I think the Taliban's return motivated groups like ISKP also to emerge, to reorganize themselves, to get more inspiration, and also conduct attacks in different parts of the region that we have seen in Iran and Moscow, Shiraz of Iran and Moscow over time, and also in several places in Afghanistan, actually, their attacks were there. So this is a second evidence that provide us a clear idea that well, how the security threats emerged under the Taliban recent takeover, and how that escalated throughout the region. And the most important thing, I think, based on all this fact, the recent one, which is TTP, and the fact that there is a very strong connection between Tehrik-e-Taliban in Afghanistan and Tehrik-e-Taliban in Pakistan, and this relationship is not only ideological, but I would say it's a transaction of businesses and money. There is a family ties and bonds between Tehrik-e-Taliban in Pakistan and Tehrik-e-Taliban in Afghanistan. And they have provided support and shelter to each other during times of crisis when they were in. So this tie is not really easily to be broken. I mean, despite Taliban are saying that we don't provide TTP any sanctuary or any support, but I don't see that as a real reality. There is no any evidence to prove that, and most importantly, that with the Taliban takeover, we have seen how TTP has reorganized, reemerged, and strengthened its network throughout both Afghanistan, and the attacks in Pakistan also demonstrate the fact that they got more support now. So what all this means for Afghanistan and going beyond in the region? First of all, if the same Taliban continue ruling, there will be two threats to Afghanistan. First is the presence of this militant group, which I gave example to. Second, radicalization. Under the Taliban takeover, rule from last 4 years, there has been number of madrasas in different parts of the country that has been established and supported by different entities, particularly even now by Saudis. There has been a contract, I think 2 years back, signed between the Taliban authorities and the Saudi government on establishment of more madrasas. So the madrasas over here, of course, there are other kind of responsibilities of madrasas and functions of madrasas, but the jihadi madrasas, they have one agenda, and that is to promote extremism. And extremist element, when they emerge in society, that give also a space to militant groups and extremist group and jihadi group to find their place in Afghanistan. So the fear that we have, who really follow the security inside Afghanistan, that this radicalization itself will promote more hard security threat going forward. And that will actually welcome a space and open a space for other jihadi group or militant group to find their base in Afghanistan, and the recruitment becomes easier for them. So that's a fear that many of us who follow the security in Afghanistan have this, and it would be a long-term impact, would be disastrous for the country itself. The second is the regional aspect. Well, the Taliban are, in addition to being militant group, they are learning how to deal with the regional countries. They are actually selling this as their powers. The fact that they are connected with militant group, the fact that for them it's a power, it's a show of power. That if, for example, if any country in the region, if you don't listen to us, we know how to make you listen to us, right? And that is to promote this kind of threats, and they show that, and they will show that. So that's the fear I have right now. Moscow recognition, which I've written extensively on that, and then of course India coziness with the Taliban, and it seems they are not learning from what Taliban did to Pakistan, who were supporting them for many, many years. The case study of Pakistan establishment and Taliban in Afghanistan should be a lesson learned for the regional countries, that you cannot trust a militant group And if you should go way around, but you cannot trust a militant group. So I would like to stop here at this point, Lynn. And of course, in addition to what say further elaboration, I'm happy to provide. Thank you.